One man is being victimized by our own government. One man whom they fear, yet whom millions love. One man who is willing to take the poison arrows of lawfare. One man whose voice has been taken away by a corrupt judge operating in a corrupt system. One man who has been ridiculed and insulted. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who refused to back down. One man who stands between us and them. One man that wants to see America protected again. One man who wants to see America prosper again. One man who understands that a man is a man and a woman is a woman. One man who understands and protects the blessing of life. One man who wants to restore American exceptionalism. One man who once again wants to make America that shining city on a hill for all to see. A place where all the people of the world glowingly set their eyes upon. America. One man who unashamedly wants to make America great again. That one man is Donald Trump.
This is Fanfare with Barry Cunningham.
So is Kamala doing okay?
Nope. She's down, Joe. I think they found out that she's retarded, and now we're basically f***ed. Trump is killing us at the polls, so yes, we're going to lose Joe.
Damn it. Wait. What if I come back to run again?
As candidate?
Yeah.
Well, let me put it this way, Joe. The only person in this world who is even more retarded than Kamala Harris is basically you. So no, Joe,
on, man.
You're
Just
not going
give
back
another
yet.
shot.
Let's let it all play out. Okay, we'll talk later, Joe.
Okay.
Women looking fine up in here.
I love the ending of that. Women looking fine up in here. Oh boy. That obviously was an overdub of the conversation between Dementia Joe and Barack Obama. But the news that we're seeing here is not far off. And I remember telling you last night, I said it reminded me of that scene in The Godfather when Michael Corleone went up and kissed Fredo and said, "You broke my heart, man. You broke my heart." And then, of course, he ended up whacking Fredo, which at this point you have to wonder, with everything that's going on, has a button been pushed on Kamala Harris? Has the order been given? Because what I'm going to show you today is going to basically lead up to what these guys, if you haven't seen it, we're actually talking about, and we're not far off. I mean, seriously, not far off. So I know many of you watched my feed last night. Thank you very much. It was one of the most watched feeds. I even beat some of the bigger channels. At one point, we had 60,000 concurrent people watching. Thank you very much. But if you didn't watch the entirety of Bret Baier's interview, let me go ahead and just give you a quick recap on that interview. for those of you who didn't watch or maybe have forgotten overnight.
Democrats voted against that.
Donald Trump's administration, even though that Donald Trump acted from the Trump campaign, Trump would say he did. It's come out of Donald Trump. An individual, he spent $20 million. Donald Trump, if he preferred to run on a problem, he actually has no plan. And again, his policy was his would make them weaker. His plan, Donald Trump, that had.
You've been in office for 3.5 years.
And Donald Trump and his vice president, he is unfit to serve, that he is unstable, that he is dangerous, with someone who professes to be a leader and it being about him and watch any of his rallies. He's the one who tends to demean. He's the one who talks about it and suggesting he would turn what he has been saying about when he's speaking about the American people, that he has repeated it, that he has talked about, disagree with him. This is about Donald Trump being,
you say now
he's unstable. He's unstable, but he's not stable.
Let me ask you this.
Donald Trump
After
is.
Georgia minutes of talking to President Biden at fun the debate stage.
Donald Trump is unconcerned about Donald Trump. With people who know him best, even people who worked for him, worked with him in this, and have said he is unfit, including his former vice president, for him to choose another running mate. Let's go back to Donald Trump. Donald Trump's administration, that Donald Trump dismissed them, not to mention how Donald Trump had.
They're giving me a hard rap.
Well, I thank you for the time.
I thank you for the time.
It's good to meet you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah, that pretty much was the interview. It was condensed down to 90 seconds for you, but you really get the point. Bret Baier thought he was doing an interview with Kamala Harris about her presidential campaign, and it turned into an ad for Donald Trump. She thought she was digging on him. She thought she was hitting body blow after body blow, but she ended up looking like a fool. An absolute blithering fool. Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. When you're looking in the rearview mirror, you're not focusing on what's ahead. And this woman obviously did not have her eye on the road. She didn't have her hands on the wheel. And immediately, before the pundits could begin trying to do triage and fix everything, the numbers started tanking. And I mean, like, really, really fast. So those of you who know it, I talk about Polymarket quite a bit. And Polymarket is that site where you can, for lack of better words, you can bet on who you think is going to win. As of right now, let me just go ahead and refresh it so you know it is current. Right now, it is 60.5 to 39.5. An absolute bent over the knee, bare butt, with leather glove spanking is what's going on over at Polymarket. It's absolutely, she's getting crushed. Crushed. But that's, usually I talk about the polls, but I don't do much about the polls anymore because they're liars. And so RCP at this point has condensed all the polls into what they call their map of the electorals. They put it out, and it's, look at this. This, I might have to, let me see if I can make this smaller so you can absolutely see it. But that's what they've done. The 2024 Electoral College, which is why they want to do away with the Electoral College, with no toss-up states, shows Trump at 312 and Kamala at 226. Those of you from wherever you're from, 270 is the winning number. This would be considered an absolute butt-kicking landslide. What's interesting about it with RCP is they basically have given Trump Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Those three, and North Carolina, and Arizona, and Nevada. So basically what they did is they took every single swing state, all of them, and pushed them into the Trump camp. So in less than 24 hours, her interview was last night at 6 p.m. In less than 24 hours, everything has flipped on its head. She's in landslide defeat category, and Polymarket is pushing it big time into Trump. And then Trump does an interview today and says, yeah, well, most of the business people are already shifting, understanding that he may take the presidency. All this with the backdrop of what's happening with Obama and Biden. So that's really interesting. But before we get to Obama and Biden, so of course what they did today is they had to get out there and put all of their horses out there on every single media site to defend everything that people saw and actually tell people you didn't see what you think you saw. It wasn't that bad. She was doing well. It was a strategy. Check out this idiocy.
When the kicker in football, they call a timeout right before he's going to kick the field goal. They're icing the kicker.
So you didn't know. If you didn't see this, you wouldn't have known what happened. What Bret Baier is going to tell you here is she was trying to wiggle out of it. Not a lot of people know that. None of the pundits mentioned it. Only Bret Baier talked about this. She tried to wiggle out of it. They agreed to 30 minutes. She didn't show up. Nobody talked about that. She didn't show up. Then she just kept saying, oh, I need another 10 minutes to get ready. Oh, I need another 15. And then finally they showed up and they had 22 minutes, I believe, to get the interview done, taped, and then get ready to be broadcast. Bad news.
So we were supposed to start at 5 p.m. This was the time they gave us. Originally, we were going to do 25 or 30 minutes. They came in and said, well, maybe 20. So it was already getting
maybe 20
whittled down. And then the vice president showed up about 5:15. We were pushing the envelope.
All right, so understand, he needed to get this done by 5:30 so he could basically get it up and have everybody, put it on the air, get it slotted. And she shows up at 5:15, just waltzes in there.
To be able to turn it around for the top of the 6 o'clock. So that's how it started. And I could tell when we started talking that she was going to be tough to redirect without me trying to interrupt. I did this with President Obama. At one point, I just said, Mr. President, I know you like the filibuster. I just didn't even have the chance to sometimes redirect in those ways. I had a lot of other questions. Dana, you've been on the other side. You've been on the rapper as a press secretary interviewing a president. And, I'm talking like 4 people waving their hands like it's got to stop.
They were throw the towel. So what Bret Baier is saying, you saw it if you watched the interview a couple of times. He's like, I got to get going. They're telling me to rap. They're telling me, and he's looking over his shoulder because the people were telling him to rap. They were trying to cut it. Done, over. Here's the towel. Get her out of here. And so they had to cut the interview. Not a single person on CNN, MSNBC, ABC, the basically liberal media ever played this stuff that Bret Baier is saying right now. They just completely ignored it like it didn't happen. And of course, people are starting to figure out what exactly happened.
So Martha, final, I had to dismount there at the end.
Just not the Twitter.
All right, so now here comes the parade of pundits, or should we call it the idiots that are trying to tell you what you saw isn't what you saw. I think that works in Democrat circles. I think it works with the libnuts because they seem to think that, Potato Head here and the rest of them all are telling you the truth when you have to remember this guy was fired from CNN for making stuff up, and now they brought him back. But he's still his same old self.
It's real life ever, but
no,
looking at it seemed like a Rorschach test right from the beginning of how people were going to see. Did she crush it? Did she blow it? What was the outcome of the interview?
I think Trump refused to debate Kamala.
They're talking about Kamala's interview, and the first word out of his mouth, I had to cut it right then and there. Hey, blah, 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 blah. And what do you think, Brian? Trump. Right off, they can't help themselves. They know she completely flubbed it.
Harris again. So Harris did the next best thing. She booked a debate on Fox News. And that's what this was tonight. She essentially walked into a Trump campaign field office.
Okay, so now he's calling Fox News a Trump campaign field office. As if she was walking into, the belly of the beast. This was just going to be awful for her. And she shows such stature by going in there.
Because anchor Bret Baier, who is a solid journalist, he is also incredibly sympathetic to Trump because that's what his fans want. That's what his viewers want. Okay,
I'm going to have to pull up comments here. any of you here think that Brett Baier is in the Trump camp? I'm pretty sure you'd be hard-pressed to find any Trump supporter who thinks Brett Baier is in the Trump camp.
Want him to represent the Trump point of view. So it was almost as if you had a Trump surrogate interviewing Kamala Harris. And look, adversarial interviews are a good thing. We should root for them. We should want more of them. You know, you're so fantastic at adversarial interviews where we challenge newsmakers and we get answers out of them. But yes, this was a Rorschach test. Some people think Baier was mansplaining. Other people think Harris was filibustering. I think at the end of the day, this was all about one word, the word tough. It showed that Harris was tough. She went into the so-called Fox den, and that's how Harris's campaign is promoting it tonight. They're saying she went into the Fox den and look what happened.
Now, you're supposed to be an objective news source. I don't care how Kamala Harris is promoting it. That shouldn't be what your show is about. Your show should be what happened and what's your perspective on what she actually said. And all they're saying is, well, Brett Baier was mean, and now over here, you know, Kamala's people said she was tough, and you didn't even mention anything about, you know, what happened. So if anybody who didn't see the interview, notice they didn't play any cuts. They don't want to show anybody what actually happened, because that would be like, oh my God.
Well, I think this strategy from Harris was a Google strategy. She wanted Fox viewers to start to Google some of the things she was saying, because some of the comments she was making in this interview are foreign to the Fox audience. For example, General Mark Milley saying Trump is a fascist to the core. That's barely been covered on Fox News. So she was able to get some of those talking points in. This was the most adversarial interview Kamala Harris has probably ever done. Instead of getting to debate Trump again, she got to debate Brett Baier. And a lot of viewers are going to come away saying, wow, she's...
I have a question. Brian, and some of you other people, Wolf, why is this the most adversarial interview she's ever done? I don't understand. You're running for president, not dog catcher in a city. You're running for president. What you just admitted to the American people, you just admitted that you have not been doing your job for the last couple months. If that's the most adversarial interview she's had last night, wouldn't you turn around and ask yourself, well, what the hell have we been doing for the last couple of months? Why have we not asked her very simple questions? And those of you who watched it, you realize right now he didn't come after her with any hard questions. It wasn't like, you know, he was attacking her. Hey, why did you leave the border open? That's not an attack. Just give me a straight question. They consider that being adversarial, asking a question and expecting an answer from a presidential candidate. It doesn't make any sense. Hey, you said this. Do you still believe that? It came out your mouth. You know, the things that you wanted to say. You said it. Do you still believe it? Do you still believe Transformers, we should be paying for Transformer surgeries? It came out your mouth. How is that adversarial? I'm just trying to find out if you mean what you say or you're completely full of it. So, real quick here, I had, this would crack me up. I crack myself up sometimes. Leslie Marshall says, she's on Fox sometimes and other shows. She goes, I do want to point out, this is very important, that on tonight's Fox News interview with Brett Baier and the VP, she had no notes, no teleprompter, and no advanced knowledge of the questions. I couldn't hold back. So what you're saying is this was her first actual interview. See, I think they forgot that. I think by coming out and saying, hey, she didn't have a teleprompter, she didn't have any notes, she didn't have this, and she still did it. You're 2 weeks from the frickin' election, and you basically just acknowledge that this was her first interview. How sad of the profession being a reporter or journalist must actually be at this point if you type this stuff out and put it out there and you expect people just to swallow it like it's, oh yeah, she didn't have any notes, she didn't have a teleprompter, she's freaking awesome. Isn't that how she's supposed to be? Shouldn't it be that way all the time? When you walk out and give a speech, if you're the person who's actually running things or involved in running things, shouldn't you know what the hell you're talking about without needing any notes? I mean, I don't care if you have some notes because, hey, let me check the date on this. Oh, it was September 8th when we did X, Y, and Z. Oh, it was September 12th when we did this. Yeah, that's fine. Check your notes for that. But if I ask you straight up, why didn't you close the border? I don't need a note. That's a policy. That's not a date. That's not a minor detail. Why didn't you close the border? You've been here 3.5 years. Why haven't you done this? Why haven't you done that? Those are very simple questions. And I got Leslie Marshall sitting here going, hey, she didn't need anything and she had no advanced knowledge of the questions. Yes, she did. Absolutely she did. You know why she did? Because every single one of us have the same damn question. She knew she was going to be asked about the border. She knew she would be asked about statements she has made. How would you not know that was coming unless you were a complete, utter moron? It's very simple. I mean, you know who you are. You know what you're running for. You know what people care about. You know why? Because they put it on a list. You can always see what the top 10 issues are that people are concerned about. So if I just stuck to those issues and I went immigration, and I went to Trace Lacey's taking over apartment complexes, and I talked to, I know you know about the A. I know you know about baby disposal. You don't need any notes about that. That's like the only thing you can talk about without notes. But you can't talk about, hey, listen, are you really going to raise capital gains on unrealized income? Yeah, about that. What? That's what you said. Hey, you said you were going to give black guys $20,000 each up to $1 million loans so they can start a business. Okay, that's your policy. Where's it coming from? And why just black people? Oh, that's right. You changed it because you got slammed and you made it for everybody. All right, now even more so. Where's the money coming from? These are things that came out your mouth. If I can remember them without a single note and no teleprompter, if I can remember them, why don't you remember them? What do you mean, Leslie? What do you mean she didn't have a teleprompter and no advanced knowledge of the questions? If she came on my show, she wouldn't have to, I wouldn't even need notes. I'm going to ask you, why is the border open? What have you done? Why are you taxing the hell out of us? Blah, blah, blah. You don't have the answers to those questions? Then you shouldn't be running for president. Let's continue.
Willing to do that. That's a sign of toughness and strength.
A little bit dismissive. I think it's of that fact. I think it's very important when you have your own former vice president not endorse you.
So this is Sunny from The View. She shows up on MSNBC before she goes on her own show to complain about how they treated Kamala.
Do you think that he approached her differently than other people he interviews?
I saw a little bit of the panel after the interview, and one woman said that she came in hot, and also said that she became angrier. I thought he came in hot, and
when he came in hot, you mean the first question he asked her was, 6 million, 10 million, what's the number? That wasn't being hot. He asked her a simple question. At that point, she started backpedaling and couldn't answer the question. Hey, how many you let in? No, so she's lying.
I'm very tired of is this trope of the angry black woman.
Did you watch the interview, Sonny? Because I'd like to know if you could play me a couple cuts of other people who are running for, elected office at that level act the way she did. I mean, just show me. She was screaming, she was pointing, she was making nasty faces. She had every one of those single attributes of the so-called angry black woman. We all know what it looks like. You can't go on a show and tell people it wasn't what you actually saw when you actually saw it.
She was not angry. She was in command of the facts. She was passionate.
What facts? All she kept saying was Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. She didn't give any facts because she couldn't say any. She doesn't know any.
Passion does not equal anger. I'm often called, Donald Trump actually called me dumb.
Yeah, he was smart for that.
At a rally recently. And
she's going to prove why Donald Trump was right in about 10 seconds.
These tropes that are used against women and women of color in particular.
Oh,
and I did not see a dumb woman. I did not see an angry woman. I saw a woman who understands what is at stake. And I think that there will be people that will change their minds. I think that there will be.
So now she's back on her show, and she's saying that, there's going to be people who change their minds because the independents saw what she did, and they're going to, flock to her.
People that were very shocked at that. I was shocked in real time because you have people that are never Trumpers that watch Fox News. You have independents that watch Fox News. You have Democrats that watch Fox News. So the reason she appeared on Fox News is because she knows that there are openings for her there. But, Brett Baier, he did himself a disservice by doing what he did.
What exactly did Brett Baier do? Those of you who watched it, because obviously these shows are for people who didn't actually watch the interview.
He is known for doing the bidding of Fox News, but he ends his show every night as fair, balanced, and unafraid. Well, that was not fair and balanced.
All right. So, as a black man, I'm going to talk to you. You mind if I just turn off the videos and just talk to you? It is 2024. We've had a black president, and we've had a somewhat black vice president. At some point, these grievance merchants, the Al Sharptons, the Sonny Hostins, the Whoopi Goldbergs, and all the rest of them, at some point you have to look in the mirror and realize, A, a lot of white people are tired of your BS. Just saying it. And B, a lot of black people are tired of your BS. It's not working anymore. You know how I know it's not working? Because I know that when you see a poll like this, and you see those numbers, and you see what's going on, when you see 60, you know for sure at that point it's not all white people. Nobody cares anymore about your tropisms. You're worried and you're trying to paint things as people of color. It's over. It's old. We don't care anymore. At some point, if I was a Democrat politician, which thank God I'm not, I would probably run an entire campaign completely different. And that difference would be, I'm not going to even mention that stuff anymore. Because as soon as you start mentioning race, you are giving an excuse. You're giving a crutch. You're complaining to people that, I'm not just good enough. I can't compete because if you come at me from what I perceive as a racial perspective, I feel injured. My feelings get hurt. I'm offended. It's not working anymore. This is 2024. We're heading into 2025, and there are black billionaires, black millionaires, black athletes, black entertainers, black professors, it's over. That is not going to propel the Democrat Party anymore. At some point, I was talking to a buddy of mine who's been involved in politics, and I'm like, when you see all the data in front of you, all of it, when you look at data, and you can clearly see at this point, people are completely over it. When you look at that, what would that tell you as a politician of any color? Black, white, green, indifferent. What would that tell you? That would tell me it's not working. So until the Democrat Party decides to put on their big boy and big girl panties and realize at this point is we've had it and it's over, we're not going to take it anymore, shove it. Tell me what you can do and stop complaining about the color of your skin. Because when you complain about the color of your skin, you make all of us look weak and you make people who aren't that color a little bit standoffish. I'm done with you, okay? I don't come at me with that race. I know part of the Democrat strategy was to use the word race to make people. I don't want to be called a racist. If you call me a racist, it really makes me upset. Maybe that might work with the liberal suburban moms. I don't know. At this point, I don't care. People call me uncle. You know what? I'm like, yeah, I don't care. It can't hurt me. It means nothing. I'm just going to go do my work. I'm just going to do what I do, and it doesn't matter. At this point, if it matters to you that much to call it a trope, then you have the problem. You're the one looking for it. I'm not. I wanted this woman. I don't care if she had green and antennas sticking out of her head. I wanted her to answer the questions. And immediately what these pundits do is try to find a reason why it wasn't fair, why she wasn't treated right, all the different reasons why that nobody else cares about. Tara Palumeri, yeah, I agree 100%. People that bring up the race card are the problem. Absolutely. She's not Afro-American. She's East Indian. I've been getting stuff in the mail daily from Democrats, even after I already voted. Barry, I'm surprised she didn't say I'm speaking about Donald Trump. You've lost the message. I mean, I can't even fathom how there's no strategist who can't see this. Hey, I'm not even competing on an equal footing because I won't address the things that people care about. And at this point, you're heading into the territory where you can't cheat to overcome what's happening. People are so fed up with it. And yet you get the people on the media who are trying to say, hey, she did okay. She went into the belly of the beast. Well, no, she didn't, because the belly of the beast is when she has to talk to Putin. The belly of the beast when she's got to go to China and talk to Xi Jinping or North Korea. That's the belly of that's the hard conversation. And what I saw last night is not a woman who looks like she can have a conversation with Putin. That kind of conversation, what's she going to say? Well, Donald Trump said, you guys were friends. You'd get laughed at and get the rest of us bombed. It's absolutely crazy. Dems need to quit with the race card. We are Americans. Yeah, it's 2024. It's done. They are a bunch of crybabies. Yeah, everything about it, from the Transformer stuff to the race baiting, it's all about putting their feelings on you. And I just wonder, at some point, are you going to have a man or a woman that are going to stand up and realize we need to win on our own? We don't need to try and put the entirety of the melanin spectrum on our backs? Can we do that? Yeah, you can. You know how? Because he got elected. Obama got elected. But now, because you're solely relying on the media to prop you up, you're in trouble, because people like me sometimes get more views than these media shows. As of right now, there have been 470,000 views of my show last night showing her interview. Joy Reid ain't getting that. There's shows on MSNBC that are on every single day on a gazillion-dollar network, ain't getting those kind of views. A lot of people, when I put up the poll today, which I found really interesting, is that, hey, you guys heard about Obama getting ready to throw Kamala under the bus? And I believe it was like 70% or 60% were like, no, what happened? People aren't tuning into your crap anymore. That's why you also, as I've been saying, they fear Elon. If Trump wins, when Trump wins, they're gonna go ballistic. Be ready, as I've said. Be absolutely ready. And also, the media knows they are done for, because if Trump, say it again, when Trump wins, and Elon's part of that administration, all bets are off. All bets are off with these guys here. All bets are off with a guy called Zuckerberg, because that platform called X is going to be a mammoth, just unbelievable media source. As many of you have now realized who have joined my group and have basically been digging in over there going, oh my God, I didn't know all this information was out there. It is a literal smorgasbord. I don't need you, Rachel Maddow. I don't need you. I can find it instantaneously. And that's what's happening. And so now they're stuck with her. Or are they? Because something's just not... Let's continue here. Listen to this.
What I will say is that, one principle I try to remember that I thought she demonstrated is making sure not to allow them to kind of change the subject or the framing of the question at hand, right? The whole topic there was the fact that a candidate for president and a former U.S. president described the American people, the ones he disagreed with, as the enemy. And
so if they allow propaganda and lies to permeate their networks, that is just another brick in the wall of their doom. When the trust in the media, there are charts everywhere that shows the trust in the media, which is dropping faster than Kamala's rankings because of this. Because you put people on who look in the camera and just lie. Absolutely lying, and you get the hosts who are getting paid millions to just sit there and look pretty and don't say nothing to them. There's no pushback. So when she goes on a show like Bret Baier, and you actually get some pushback, it's, oh my God, he pushed back on me. No, he just asked you a question. He wanted an answer. They don't look for any answers. She'll sit there with her lips pursed and let him just talk.
it's really important not to allow some sidestepping of that. So, she did that. She also made sure to continue to get her point across, even when she was being repeatedly interrupted. As somebody who has a lot of batting practice myself on that network, really proud of how...
You have lips and you have a tongue to speak. You're supposed to be a reporter, not just a... Why put yourself on camera? If I'm not talking, I don't want to sit there for minutes just sitting there. Just letting them spew. Your job no longer is reporting. Your job is to facilitate the propaganda that the administration wants to say.
She represented her views, her values, and this ticket in front of a conservative audience. Something I might add, by the way, that is a show...
Now he's taken a turn, and she still didn't even answer what he just said. She didn't say, hey, listen, what do you mean Trump's talking about, taking the military in Americans? He didn't really say that. Here's what he meant, blah, 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 blah.
Of strength that is the exact opposite of the weakness that Donald Trump has demonstrated by pulling out of going, even on CNBC, which is hardly a liberal bastion, or 60 Minutes.
See what I mean? See what I mean? She could have just said, well, 60 Minutes, Kamala was on there, she kind of flubbed it, and they had to edit it to make her look better.
Where it's customary for both candidates to go on. He's not prepared to go in front of a skeptical, let alone unfriendly audience.
Now, if you didn't know, you wouldn't have known that he went to the Society or Association of Black Journalists. Nope, you would know that because she's not speaking up and he's saying something that people are just supposed to take as gospel. Oh, he doesn't do hard interviews? No, he doesn't do anything like that. Okay.
She demonstrated the opposite. And remember, this is in keeping with her continued outreach to conservatives. Look at the difference between her making clear that she would include...
Notice he had to swallow for spit because she still hadn't said anything. The reason I included this clip is I wanted you to see what a CNN anchor does. Hey, Mr. Buttigieg, here, tell me what you want me to spew. And he starts spewing, and she just sits there with nothing to say.
Republicans in her cabinet, campaigning with so many Republicans, principal Republicans, who are for her versus him, referring to Democrats as the enemy.
Yeah, and finish responding, please.
They don't get it. They just don't understand. People are over this stuff. Now, the reason why I really included that Pete Buttigieg clip and also the other pundits who were basically there to support her was because at this point, they're being sent out to do something. They're being sent out there to basically do triage and put the Band-Aids on what's really going on. But they're not privy to what's going on in the back with Obama and Biden. There was this thing at this funeral, which I'm going to show you and we're going to get into in a second. I just wanted to lay it out for you that everybody ran and did their job as the good little minions that they are. But they don't know what's happening in the background. And watch.
And let me just finish. I'll get to the question. I promise you.
I was beginning to answer. People
Critics
calling
say
them
that it goes to
suckers and
Hezbollah,
losers.
Hamas.
Suckers and losers. See, she's used to being able to say that with no pushback. Miss Harris, you're lying.
Has diminished
And who
the
is?
significance.
We're talking over each other. I apologize.
What did I do?
Listen, I know Brett, and he is, I think, a really fair person. And there's an interview he did with Trump where he is ruthless with Trump. And I would compare those two. I think she got a fair shake. I think on substance, she was light. On style, she was great. I thought, like Brian thought, she looked tough. And that.
I don't want my president to have style points. She's not going off of a diving board and looking for a little bit of a splash or a big splash. They have reduced the presidency of the United States to basically a Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers routine. She didn't say anything. She's got no substance, but she looked good in heels. Are you kidding me? Is that where our media is at this point? Her hair was pretty. She was dressed well. She had a belt on. She had the fake earring. Oh, she looked great. Her style? We might as well just go ahead and put Melania as president at that point, huh? Because she got more style than all y'all.
Was a moment that was important for her to be able to show, I'm tough enough for this. I can withstand the tough interview, because that's been a knock on her.
Right.
But where I'm focused on the undecided voters in the swing states, I don't think this moved them, because they are still looking for real answers to real problems, real solutions, and I'm not sure that they got those specifics in this interview.
So I talked about this yesterday for a little bit, and I said to you guys, who are the morons who are undecided at this point? Who are those people who have lived through the last 4 years and are still undecided? They act on television like there's this big swath of people out there who 2.5 weeks away from an election still don't know. Maybe they shouldn't even be bothered with voting at this point, if you're that much of an airhead. And so I have to believe that these people in these studios in New York and Washington, what they really are saying is, we're trying to hold on to the people who want to vote for Kamala or who now have went, maybe we should look at Trump. See, that's who they're talking about. What they're talking about isn't undecideds. What they're talking about is people who haven't voted early, who they thought would be Kamala voters, and they're starting to look elsewhere. That's not an undecided. That's someone who's looking to switch their vote. These people are trying to hold on. I watched the Univision town hall last night. It was kind of boring. I mean, really, actually, it was really boring. But a couple of the people who asked Trump questions were asking him questions, and they would say, I was going to vote this way, but now I'm thinking about voting this way. Convince me. Love that. That's who you want to talk to. You know what? I was thinking about voting for Kamala, but now I have a dilemma. I'm trying to figure out if that's the right thing. That's not undecided. That's getting someone to turn to Donald Trump. I've seen it over and over and over on X. People say, I don't like him. I don't like his mannerisms, don't like his speech, I don't like that. And then they'll say, but now I'm voting for Trump. See, that is what I really wanted to impart upon you. It's that there aren't that many undecideds. There are people who have been historically Democrat who are now shifting. It's not undecided. That's what they're terrified of. Count on it. Go look yourself. And you're going to see over and over and over people like, I've been voting Democrat for the last 20 years. But now I think I'm going to go vote for Trump. That's not undecided. That's someone who's switching. You're not going to find people go, I don't know who to vote for. It could be her, could be him. No, those don't exist 2.5 weeks from an election. What you're trying to do is just do everything you can from stopping this campaign that's going off the rails and keeping them into your camp and getting them to the voting booth before they look the other way. Good luck with that. Because now, with what I'm going to tell you and show you, it's getting even worse. So somebody put together this other big lie.
So are they misguided, the 50%?
Listen,
are they stupid? What is it?
I would never say that about the American people. What else do we know about this population, 18 through 24? They are stupid.
And you were asked on 2 different shows last week what, if anything, you would do differently than President Biden. Here's what you said.
Would you have done something differently than President Biden during the past 4 years?
There is not a thing that comes to mind in terms of, and I've been a part of most of the decisions that have had impact.
Under a Harris administration, what would the major changes be, and what would stay the same?
Sure. Well, I mean, I'm obviously not Joe Biden.
I know.
And so that would be one change in terms of, but also I think it's important to say with, 28 days to go, I'm not Donald Trump.
So you're not Joe Biden, you're not Donald Trump, but nothing comes to mind that you would do differently?
Let me be very clear.
All right. So pay attention to what she says here. Because what she answers here, in my opinion, I don't want to speak for her, but in my opinion, as what has transpired today, I think this is her trying to extricate herself from Joe, and she didn't clear this with the powers that be. She decided she was going to basically do this on the fly, not realizing that the powers that be were like, get your little dark butt back into the camp here. You just stepped out of line. Those of you who watched this last night, you'll remember what she said, the answer to this question.
My presidency will not be a continuation of Joe Biden's presidency.
All right. My presidency won't be a continuation of Joe Biden. You went against the family, Fredo. You did the Godfather scene in real life. You walked up to, the Mafucci bros and said, yeah, I can get Michael to do this. Yeah, he's going to trust me, because I'm the older brother. I can do what I want. And now you're going to get whacked. You stepped out and you spoke out about the family in a bad way. You don't know what I'm talking about? Go watch The Godfather. Go watch The Godfather and see what happens when Michael sees Fredo. He said, you broke my heart. He gives him a kiss. She just broke Dementia Joe's heart and Obama's heart. And now she's going to have to pay the price. So I played that funny video at the beginning. And that funny video that I played was an overdub. Somebody did the most fantastic overdub job ever. So if you see an AI button over here, it's because I use that altered content. But what I'm about to show you now is not altered content. What I'm about to show you now is that the New York Post, they hired a lip reader with 15 or 18 years of experience. And that lip reader said, here's what they actually said in this conversation. I'm going to play it. Maybe I'll play it twice so you guys can see it. But when you hear what they're saying, they're basically talking about whacking Kamala. You watched every mob movie out there. You know when De Niro and what was the guy's name? Pesci, and they were in Goodfellas, and he goes, no, Ray Liotta. He goes, I was supposed to take him out that night. And De Niro says, no, don't worry about it. Just like that, they were talking about taking a guy out. These guys are talking about taking her out, not in terms of like the mobsters do, but in another kind of way. So you have to wonder at this point, Are they really thinking about switching out a candidate with 2 weeks left to go? Because it sounds like it. So without further ado, look at the actual words that were said. This isn't a dub. This is a lip reader who transcribes it. Ready? Alright, so I'm going to stop it so everybody has a chance to read so it doesn't go too fast. So Obama's talking and he goes, no, that's not on. What's not on? That was the exact same words Ray Liotta used in Goodfellas. He goes, are we still on? No, we're not on. Okay, so what's not on? Obama, unintelligible. I think it's important that we have some time together. Don't know what it means. We'll take it at value. So whatever he said to Biden, you can look at Biden's face and he's like, I mean, just a stone drop of his face. And he says, yes, that's right. Maybe we can. She's not as strong as me. I know. That's true. Ooh. All right, so the ex-president is talking to the current president and saying that Kamala, yeah, she's not as strong as you. Biden says, she's not as strong as me. Obama goes, yeah, I know that's true. That's what I don't understand. We have time. The guy read his lips and said, that's what he said. We have time. As far as I know, it's October 17th. We're talking, 13, 14 days left in October, and then 5 days. We're talking 19 days. What time do you have? We'll get it in time. What are you going to get, and in what time frame are you talking about? And those aren't happy faces. Biden looks like he saw a ghost. Do I need to show that again? Did you guys get it? No news station is covering this. They all completely, to use another mob term, they've all hit the mattresses at this point. But it's all over X, and people are like freaking out. Colin Rugg, just in the New York Post, says a professional lip reader caught Obama agreeing with President Biden that Kamala is not as strong as he is. Obama assured Biden, however, that they have time, according to the Post. Biden, she's not as strong as me. Obama, I know, that's true. We have time. Biden, yeah, we'll get it in time. It's important that we have some time together. What the hell are they referring to? What? Charlie Kirk, wow, the New York Post hired a professional lip reader to analyze this interaction at Ethel Kennedy's memorial between Barack and Joe. Biden, she's not as strong as me. Obama, I know that's true. This is a stunning revelation that even two Democrat presidents know Kamala Harris is weak. Historically awful candidate. Want to point something out to you. Hope you guys can see this. This was at Ethel Kennedy's funeral. You see the timestamp there? That time is 1:19 p.m. in the afternoon, Eastern Time. The interview didn't happen till 5:30 Eastern Time. So prior to her complete flubbing of that interview, these guys are already talking at a funeral about doing something. And I'm not being conspiratorial. I believe the New York Post that they hired someone who reads lips, and that's what was said. People can hire their own lip reader if they want to, debate that. But all I know from seeing this is that at 1:19 p.m., 4 hours before the interview, these guys are already talking about what we need to do because she's weak. That can't be good. And did she know it going into the interview? And is that why she said, my president ain't going to be anything like him? And Obama, who's probably running the show, went, what you mean? What you talking about, Willis? You're going to do what I tell you to do if you win. What do you mean it ain't going to be nothing like his? Did she just accelerate things into motion? I don't know. Dave Rubin. President Biden griped to former President Obama that she's not as strong as me, with Obama agreeing that's true in a stunning off-mic conversation deciphered for the Post by a professional lip reader. It's stunning. Just in, lip reader hired by New York Post says Biden told Obama she's not as strong as me at the funeral. And ex-president agreed that's true. The other guy standing to Obama's left, by the way, Bill Clinton. So Bill Clinton, standing basically a foot away from Obama and Biden, are standing there. You got to think that possibly Bill even knew what was going on at that point, because I'm sure that it wasn't happening in a vacuum. He didn't. When you look at Obama in this picture, he's not trying to look away and go like this to Joe. He's talking. Bill knew what was being said. They know what's going on, whatever it is that's going on. It's kind of scary. I mean, what are we getting into? If you ever wanted to check, this is the actual story yourself that you can go read on the New York Post. On the New York Post, there it is. Biden tells Obama she's not as strong as me. An ex-pres agrees that's true at Ethel Kennedy's service. And as you can see, Bill Clinton's right there. So you got Bill Clinton, the Secret Service guys around Obama and Biden, and they're talking about what you just heard or read. That to me is jaw-dropping, as it is to many people who have seen it and are talking. Because what the hell were those two guys talking about? Why would they have been even discussing that in terms of her not being as strong at this late date? I mean, we're talking 2.5 weeks or so before the friggin' election. And now I'm just going to let it play and let you guys read it again. Let it sink in as you're watching this. Maybe they were talking about the next big wire transfer that they want to drop that's supposed to go over there. I have no idea. Anything else I would say is speculative, except for what you just saw. You are 19 days? Yeah, 19 whatever days away from an election. And two of the most powerful people in the Democrat Party, Clinton and Obama, are sitting there next to Dementia Joe, who's a current president who looks terrified in that exchange. He doesn't exude confidence. He looks like he's listening to his boss. And his boss is telling him. I don't think that bodes well for the country, especially with what we saw last night. And what's really weird is that nobody in the news finds anything wrong with that. Nobody? Y'all don't want to talk about this? Nobody want to ask Biden or Karine Jean-Pierre, what the hell, what was that? Oh, we're just talking about, they're going to lie, obviously. They're not going to tell you, but it is what it is. It's a dodgy conversation. I don't know what it is, but if anything, Barry, it's absolutely hilarious that the liberal media has a problem asking any real questions. Oh, for sure. It's a complete poop show. Yeah, that's what I thought. Where'd that go? Somebody's like, yeah, that's it. Desperation is off the charts. there's literally no way she can win. I mean, when I look at the charts that I just showed you from Polymarket and from RCP and the pollsters now, whatever they used to think, I mean, you're 21 points down. 21 points down, according to that poll. Does it mean anything? No, it means absolutely nothing. It's a betting market. However, it's a better barometer in my mind than calling up people you don't want to say who they are or anything. I mean, I understand you could say, well, there's more Republicans buying bets or whatever. Yeah, everything can be manipulated. But the idea behind it is that all of the trend lines, not Polymarket, not RCP, all of them, every single one of them is shifting to Trump winning. So right now, in the next couple of weeks, all Trump has got to do is just coast and stay alive. And I believe he wins big. Which means what they're going to do is what's concerning and why you better be ready for anything. And I do mean anything. And again, I'm not being conspiratorial. I just know that these people are desperate. Somebody just put up, yeah, the funeral music is quite appropriate. Barry doing well speaking for us common folks that have common sense. That was my message today. Something's happening. You take away from the hour we've spent here today, and you can tell your friends, hey, listen, I don't know definitively, but here's what I do know. The fact that as of right now at 5:31, what you do know is that not one, all of the polling has shifted towards Trump winning. She doesn't lead in any of the swing states. None of them. What you do know is that Barack Obama and Dementia Joe were having a conversation an hour at 1:15 or so in the afternoon, 4 hours before an interview with Fox, and they're seemingly doubting Kamala Harris's resolve and ability to get shit done. That's what you do know. And then you heard them say, we still have time. Time for what? That's what the message is I wanted to get to you guys today is something's happening. I know a lot of people say stay frosty, watch your six, stay out of crowds right now. Something's about to happen. Do I know? No. I won't even speculate as to what these morons will do. But it ain't looking good. And you got the media lying, and you've got other politicians lying, and they're trying to cover it, and everything they're doing at this point is just going, there are no undecideds. They don't exist. They're just trying to hold on to what they thought they had. And then at the same token, you put all this together in this melting pot here, and you've got the tres leches running around taking over apartment complexes in different cities. And it keeps happening. I can't even understand how I'm even reading an article where one apartment complex has been taken over. And now I'm seeing them going to different cities. Oh, 4 more were taken over. I'm like, how? Who is the law enforcement in these towns where these idiots are just walking in and taking over apartment complexes? By the time the article came out, it should have said, takeover thwarted, 10 bad guys met their demise. Not they took over 4 complexes, because I'm thinking, well, send in whoever you need to send in and get rid of these people. But they're not doing that. Oh yeah, we had 4 more. And then you got Martha Raddatz on ABC News going, it's just a couple. If they're giving you soft disclosure to tell you it's not that bad, you'll be okay if they take a couple. All I can do is I hope it's not one of yours. Those of you who live, in a small town, or you expect that the police are going to protect you until the Tres Leches show up and say you pay them rent now, weekly. Last story I want to tell you. My wife, her mother-in-law, stepmother's not doing well, so she flew up to Asheville. And I had to ask her, I'm like, I understand all the personal stuff. What's it look like? hell. And I'm like, you got to take pictures and send them to me. And she goes, I can't. She goes, I can't bear to even take the pictures of what I'm seeing. And she said, every single person she talks to, relative, person at the hospital, she's talking to people, and they're like, there's people dead everywhere. She's at a hospital, Mission Hospital, with my stepmother-in-law. In a hospital. What are we, 19 days later? They don't have running water. Everything is bottled water and everything else they're trying to do to facilitate operating a freaking hospital, and they don't have water. She said the roads, the main roads are passable, but she's already been told by her own relatives, my relatives-in-law, do not go out at night. I'm like, why would you go out at night? Because you don't want to get caught in crossfire. I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Well, I don't know if it's the Trace Leches or somebody else, but people have said they're opportunists, and they're going out and they're trying to loot. Well, they picked the wrong area to loot, and at this point, the country boys are not taking it. And the sheriffs are like, do what you gotta do. And so at night in these small towns up in Asheville area of North Carolina, they're having shootouts, and then they're having disappearing people because they're taking care of business. And so on top of all the other people that have met their demise because of the hurricane, you now got stuff like Wild Wild West going on up there. And not a word from our media, and no help from the government. So when I see that going on, and I know what's going on down here in Florida because I live here, I understand full well what could be happening in the next 19 days. You're seeing it in the news with them taking over apartment complexes, and it makes no sense to you and makes no sense to me. Like, how could it be possible? Isn't it just one phone call? Hey, yeah, they're here, and they're kicking in the doors. Are you on your way? Yes, we'll make sure that we get there and get them the hell out of there. Because you don't take over an apartment complex in about 5 minutes. You do what you need to do. You got your sentries. You go ahead. And during that period of time, the response time should be what? 2-3 minutes? Nobody's coming? How are they basically conquering an apartment complex? Who is allowing it and looking the other way and saying, yeah, they got it? I know my wife's relatives up in North Carolina didn't expect that they were going to have to become security guards, deputized in their own areas, in their own properties, and telling my wife, don't go out at night. I mean, that's something I would tell her in Miami. Hey, listen, to make sure you don't drive this certain area at night. Don't go into Opelika. Now, you don't want to go there at night. Okay, make sure you go around. You come back from the airport. Avoid this area. And now in the hills of North Carolina, we now have no-go zones for another reason, because the good old boys ain't taking it anymore and realize they're in trouble from their own government. Boy. They're desperate, and they're going to start trying to take him out again. Jeffrey goes, I can't say it on here. I know what you're saying. You can't say it on here. There you go. The looters are disappearing in the new swamps is what he was doing. It's getting crazy. Is she posting this on X? No, she won't. She won't even send me the pictures because she can't trust me not to post them. Because I'd post every single one of them. I'd be posting away. And she's like, don't. She goes, I can tell you. And she'll take pictures of the area and show me that, but she's not going to show me her relatives walking around. Somebody said Elon is speaking at a town hall in Folsom right now. SV, go ahead and text me and tell me what channel it's on. Maybe I can pull it up if y'all want to see that. What's he on? Is it on Fox? SV, text me. Let me know what he's on. I'll put it up. Or not text me. Call me. See, SV is one of the mods, so he said that. Let me check. Just give me a second. Talk amongst yourselves. Let me see if I can't find it. I mean, that's if you guys want me to play it. 1 second. Good job, my brother. He just texted me. All right, what station is it on? It's on X. Oh, okay. We don't have to. Well, if I want the volume, I have to do it. That's SV. What's up, brother? Hello? Hello. Okay, hold on. I'm going to see if I can pull it up here. 1 second. I don't see it. Oh, okay. It's a space though. It's okay. So just so you guys know, Elon is talking, but it sounds like it looks like it's a space. It's not a video. But if I can put it on, I would gladly put it on. Let's see. Am I getting volume in here?
Make sure we get Donald Trump across the finish line in Pennsylvania and everywhere else in this country.
Yeah, it's fundamentally for the next 3 days, just everyone needs to focus on registering friends, family, acquaintances, everyone you know. Because if you're not registered by Monday, that's why I'm being sort of repetitive about this and really emphasizing this. Anyone not registered by Monday evening, or if they're registered incorrectly, their vote won't count. They won't be able to vote. So we have 3 days. It's all about registration every single day. And like I said, this election could be decided by a handful of people. It could just be that a little bit of extra effort on voter registration decides the entire people civilization. So that's what I'm saying, man. This is, if there's ever a weekend to spend going whole out on registration, this is it. Yeah. Oh.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for being here. It means so much, and I think it's really in line with your character as I've come to know you from listening to you speak in interviews. In addition to voting for Donald Trump, what can the average citizen do to help train AI to be truth-seeking?
Well, I think that definitely, publicly pushing to ensure that AI is truth-seeking and is not sort of politically correct or
that AI is truth-seeking is not sort of politically correct or which is
that's a big deal. Like I just speak out on social media.
That's a big deal.
So they can hang out when other companies attempt to essentially program their AI with
essentially program their AI with a dystopian San Francisco, Berkeley philosophy. And if you want to know where that philosophy leads, just walk around the streets of San Francisco. But be careful, because do not get killed by a violent drug zombie, because they're all over this downtown SF. It's insane. So you can see where does that philosophy lead, and unfortunately, I think a lot of the AIs are being programmed, at least implicitly with that misanthropic dystopian philosophy. Yeah.
Hi, Elon, right here, on your right.
Sorry, I saw with the lights in my eyes and stuff. It's hard to see. So, yeah.
Hi, my name is Jasmine. I'm originally from Malaysia, and I've been here 20 years. I came here legally. I see a lot of immigration and a lot of immigrants who came here legally. They all support Trump, and they want a strong economy. They want, family values and all that. And oh, by the way, I came here because my daughter goes to school here. She told me to come over. I used to be really, really active in promoting, Trump campaign 4 years ago, and I got burned out, and I'm so frustrated, and it's all because of the cheating. So, what are we going to do with that?
Well, there is, I think, some amount of cheating that takes place. It's hard because they've, when you have mail-in ballots and no sort of proof of citizenship, it becomes almost impossible to prove cheating is the issue. So a lot of people in Dems say, and I'm like, you've made it impossible to actually prove that there's cheating. But statistically, there's some very strange things that happen that are statistically incredibly unlikely. So, there's always this sort of question of, like, say, the Dominion voting machines. It is weird that I think they're used in Philadelphia and in Maricopa County, but not in a lot of other places. Doesn't seem like a heck of a coincidence. So I think we should, in my view, we should only do.
All right, he's buffering. That's not me. He's streaming this to like 1 million people. All right, so we'll cut back and when they get the stream, I'm watching it on the other screen, so you don't have to see the max headroom look. But as soon as the stream catches up, I will click back on. I don't know where he is. I think he's in Pennsylvania somewhere. But here we go.
In-person voting with proof of with ID, which, by the way, every country has. I mean, like almost every country that has democratic elections requires in-person voting with voter ID. This is weird. It's super weird to not have that. I think that's the only way to effectively address fraud. Given that we are today, I think we just need a very big margin of victory. If the margin of victory is big enough, then as they say, it's got to beat the cheat. So that's it.
Look at those MAGA hats.
First off, you're my hero, and I love your sneakers.
Thank you.
So if you do choose to be the head of the Department of Government Efficiency.
Yeah, Doge.
Yep. What do you think about we stop giving money to other countries such as Israel, Ukraine, and we stop funding forever wars that most likely is going to the deep state anyway?
Yeah. Well, I think in general the amount of waste that happens with the federal government is really staggering. It's a staggering amount of waste of taxpayer money. And if we're for any given expenditure, we have to say, well, what does this do for the citizens of America? Like, how is this good for the people of America? It's their money. Like, for some weird reason, a lot of people in the sort of state or whatever, the politicians, they seem to forget that the money being spent is your money, and if it's not being spent in a way that is beneficial to the American people, it's a misuse of the funds. So yeah. I mean, there's a lot of money that's being spent where sort of illegals are getting more benefits than citizens. Like, what the heck is that? That doesn't make any sense. Yeah.
Hi, Elon. So as we bring government spending and look inward to our country, I am a government employee. I care about innovation and efficiency. With your vision for a Department of Government Efficiency, what can we do? How can we support you? And also, how can we spot the needs of people in North Carolina? The body count is abnormally underreported. What can we do to press on that and to support people within our country?
Sure. Well, I do think that government efficiency is not simply about reducing the size of government, but making sure that there are incentives for excellent work. So if somebody's, whatever you incent will happen. So if you have incentives for excellent work, and by the same token, if someone's not doing excellent work, they're exited. Just like normal. It's really what happens in a properly functioning company is that you reward, or think of a sports team. The players that are doing well, they get rewarded, and the players that are not doing well, they exit the team. And that should just be how it works. And I think that'll have a profound effect on the effectiveness of government, because so whatever you incent will happen. So if the incentives are aligned with saving people in North Carolina, then that's what will happen. But if you have a sort of a failed response to the disasters, to the hurricane disasters, and no one even gets fired, well, okay, what do you expect? No one's going to take action. So people if there's a track record of failure, you have to exit the people who failed. Otherwise, people will look around and say, well, I guess I don't need to do anything because, nothing bad happens to you, even if you do a terrible job and people die, which is insane. So.
Hi, Elon. Hey, Elon. Can you tell us about your trip to Israel?
Yeah. It was a very moving trip. So, it's a very moving trip. Definitely one of the toughest regions to, like how do you, what set of actions result in the greater good in Israel? I mean, obviously, you cannot have people who, if they want to slaughter everyone in Israel, you got to stop that. There's no way. Those people either need to be they killed or incarcerated, or they will simply try to kill more Israelis. This is what it amounts to, obviously, and they want to kill Americans too, by the way. Generally, like Israel is referred to as the little Satan in America. We are the big Satan. That's what the Ayatollah calls us. So, so I think, I think a lot of what's happening there is people are being taught to hate, in Gaza from when they're children. They're taught to hate, and that's really the thing that needs to stop for there to be, long-term peace. Hopefully, is that you just cannot have the kids be taught to hate from the moment they can talk. That's fundamental. So, yeah. So, so I think there's it's kind of a three-step process there, which is I've mentioned one has to do the difficult thing, which is to yes, eliminate Hamas, exactly, and then I think also going forward, anyone who's teaching hatred in Gaza or elsewhere, they need to stop doing that. That can't be acceptable. We have to stop. Kids being taught to hate America in America. So. And then the third thing that's also very important. How do you sort of, after terrible things have been done, you then have to sort of, you have to bring prosperity to Gaza, and that's the thing that will ensure, provided kids are not taught to hate and there's long-term prosperity, I think there will be peace in Gaza. And we see an example of that after World War II, where with Germany and Japan, they were defeated. They obviously did terrible things, but changed the education system. And unlike World War I, we helped rebuild Japan and Germany. The Marshall Plan. Instead of exacting vengeance, America insisted we're going to help rebuild Germany. We're going to help rebuild Japan. And now they're our allies. And there's been no war ever since.
Hi, welcome to Delaware County, and I want to say congratulations on the successful redocking of your...
Thank you.
Thank you. And
Thanks.
I'm going to go...
Yeah, I mean, honestly, it was a great week. Yeah, we had the Tesla sort of cool autonomous car and robot stuff, which I think is going to be really, really great. I think, who wouldn't want their own personal C-3PO R2-D2? It'd be awesome, So I think that we're going to build some awesome helper robots and autonomous cars, and then this is a good day. Fate is smiling upon us here. Thank you, and we caught the rocket, which is just totally nuts.
Yeah.
Amazing. You see that rocket booster? It's the largest, heaviest flying object ever made, and it just got caught by Mechazilla arms. Kind of like Karate Kid, but bigger. Catch on the fly with the chopsticks.
My question is, do you think there is a shadow government behind the Biden-Harris administration?
I mean, well, let me put it this way: it's not Biden. We know that for a fact. Okay. The dude's barely got 2 functional neurons, so it's like, and he just seems to be at the beach a lot, and
so
he's obviously not in charge. So I mean, when the polls started going low on Biden, he was saying, "Oh, he's staying in the race," but then I guess the real powers that be told him he's not. It's like.
So who is it that's behind him? We know Obama, okay, but Obama.
I mean, I'm just as curious as you are.
Go there.
It is. As far as I can determine, there isn't any one sort of puppet master. It's more like there's 1,000 or I don't know, a lot.
Don't go there.
But I mean, I'd like to talk to them to understand more about. Listen, what are your goals, puppet masters?
It's a trap.
I'm just curious. I mean, maybe I agree with some of them. It's possible, but it's just obvious that Biden's not in charge. It's obvious that Kamala's not in charge. I mean, Kamala's. They just replaced the Biden puppet with the Kamala puppet. Very obviously, and so you can tell, if the teleprompter stops working, then the puppet breaks, and it's like, oh, the puppet just starts looping because the teleprompter broke. I don't have a teleprompter. I can just talk like a normal human. So I mean, I think it's not, from what I can tell, it's not one puppet master. It's many, but interesting to see the crossover between the Epstein client list and Kamala's puppet masters. I bet there's a lot of names that appear in both lists.
Oh no, he didn't go there.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, Diddy too. Diddy did it.
Elon, my name is Gregory Stenstrom. I'm from here, Delaware County. There are 2 people who know me. In my hands, you asked earlier, you'd like to go to a hand count. We have 3 federal suits right now. One, because we know for a fact, and we have proof, that the election code in the machines in Dominion and Harlingen Civic are fraudulent here, right here in Delaware County. Secretary of State Jonathan Marks admitted this in court last week.
Wow, he did?
In court. On a transcript.
I didn't read about that. For some reason,
Well, of course you didn't.
For some reason,
How many people here
the legacy
know me?
media forgot to report about that one.
How many people here know me? Quite a few.
I mean, I usually keep up with these things, and I did not know that.
Well, we're also co-defendants. Leah Hoops and myself, also from Delaware County, we're co-defendants with President Trump and Rudy Giuliani in a defamation suit where we proved over 952 days that there was massive election fraud in 2020. We proved it in court. It's a matter of public record. We also have the proof that the election machines that are currently being used are fraudulent. We have videos right now that I can show you of ballot boxes being stuffed here in Delaware County.
Y'all gonna hate me here, but if I was just streaming on X, it wouldn't be a problem. But these guys are touching the third rail for the people here. I may cut this and pull it back up because, ooh, he's hitting. I mean, that whole last 7 or 8 minutes, I'm gonna have to cut if I want to have a lifespan here. Wow. Let's see what I'll do. I'm gonna let it go, and then immediately, I may have to even delete this entire show, but we'll see.
I have a Supreme Court case. Yeah. And I have the federal suits here. We've called your people. We've called the people who are supposed to be helping. We have hundreds of people right now ready.
Yeah.
They're out taking videos. They're training poll workers. And we are not getting support from many of the people in the first front rows here. And their pictures, if you want to know who they are in this book.
Well, let's what I recommend is to post content on the X platform, and then people can argue and say it's right or wrong, but if you have videos or evidence, then post them publicly on social media, and then people can judge for themselves. Exactly. Okay, great, excellent, thank you. But anyway, let's not get contentious. This is I think, teamwork makes the dream work here. If whatever the situation, I don't want to dissuade anyone from voting. It's very important to vote. Any actions with respect to voting machines and whatnot, we certainly want to put them under intense scrutiny. But it's nonetheless, everyone needs to vote. And like I said, if you leave here with one thing, the goal is to register as many people as possible to vote. That is the goal, and we only have until Monday night. That is the goal. One mission, bam.
Hi, thank you for being here. First, I want to thank you as somebody with a spinal cord because not many people are. I won't take up the time, but 18,000 people a year are injured. So thank you.
Absolutely, and I'm hopeful that Neuralink can do a lot. Actually, initially providing the ability for anyone who's lost the brain-body connection to be able to interface with their phone and computer faster than a human with working hands, which is, I think, really cool. But down the road, I think it'll be possible to restore a whole body functionality. If you have a Neuralink in the motor cortex that then shunts past where the neurons are damaged in the spine, I'm confident that long term you can actually restore people's ability to walk and use their hands.
Well, I would love. I appreciate it. I would love to work with you on getting support around here, but
yeah, and in fact, one of the things that and to be fair, the FDA has been within the context of their current rules has been actually quite supportive. They've given us sort of express lane, because they've seen the quality of the work and the sophistication of the technology. They have given us sort of fast track approval, but still our progress is limited by regulatory issues, and that's the same thing that's happening with SpaceX. It's like SpaceX can build a giant rocket faster than the license can be processed by the government, which is insane. I should mention, like, one of the most fundamental things about me supporting, and maybe the biggest showstopper of all for me in terms of why I feel Donald Trump must win, is that we have to have sensible regulations. We have so many regulatory. Last time I checked, we have 428 agencies. There's more than an agency a year has been created since America was a country. It's like we've got almost twice as many agencies as years that America has been a country, which means an agency has been created. There's like sometimes two new agencies per year created, which is just madness. So America is being smothered by overregulation. It's like I call it slow strangulation by overregulation. That's the.
Well, I would like to ask about natural gas and lithium. That's kind of what. Pennsylvania is rich of natural resources and fracking gas and lithium, which could benefit not only our state, but our entire country. However, many residents, and I have to be honest, along 350 miles of Pennsylvania had real challenges like eminent domain and the destruction of water sources, such as what happened with the Marin East pipeline. How can we ensure that while utilizing these resources, we work closely with local governments and residents without the federal government overreaching and forcing land from homeowners? Effective communication with citizens and their involvement in these decisions is crucial. What role do you see for technology or private industry in making sure that this process is transparent and fair? Because believe you me, lots of people were forced with eminent domain and aquifers poisoned all across Pennsylvania, including our veterans. And this has been a real problem since 2016. So we want to support our workers and use our gas, but we need to be careful of what we're taking from people who've lived here, families for centuries.
Certainly, I believe in sensible regulation. So, what I see happening is that there are all sorts of, there's a mountain of rules that actually don't benefit people, and then there's missing rules that do benefit people. So it's this bizarre Kafkaesque nightmare of regulations where ultimately the good of the people is not served. And we get regulatory delays for things that are fake. Meanwhile, bad things are allowed to happen simply because someone filled out the paperwork and gamed the system. So that's what I mean. It's when I say the Department of Government Efficiency, I mean addressing any issue which is not in the interest of the people, and we do need to, at times, fight against what large corporations are pushing for, because some of them are very short-term, and some large corporations do bad things. Corporations are like people. Like, some people are good people. Some corporations are good, some are sort of middling, and sometimes some corporations are bad. And it's just like people, is the way to think of corporations. So we've got to stop the corporations that want to do bad things. Make sure they're doing things that are in the interest of the people. And then corporations that want to do good things, they shouldn't be slowed down by smothering regulation. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, and I think these things should be done very much. So sunlight is the best disinfectant. So.
Hey, Elon, how are you? I'm Rob. These are two tough acts to follow here, but my question is a little more simple. What are some of the first courses of action you plan to take as the head of government efficiency if Trump gets elected, and do you have any areas of concern in particular?
Yeah, well, that's a good question. I definitely, the focus right now is making sure that Trump wins the election. Otherwise, it doesn't matter. And I think if Trump loses, we're going to see, our cities are going to get less safe. The border's obviously going to be wide open. We're going to see government spending go ballistic. It's inflation go nuts. It's going to be just bad on every level. Fundamentally, if the current trend of strangulation by overregulation is not turned around, we'll never get to Mars. It just will be illegal. And then we'll be a one-planet civilization. There won't be a space-faring civilization, and Starfleet will never be real. And we want Starfleet to be real. Yeah. So, now I've had quite a bit of interaction with the government, because SpaceX is the biggest NASA contractor, actually. Does a lot of work for NASA. And I'm a big fan of the agency, by the way. But there's there are expenditures that don't make a lot of sense, that are wasteful, and we need to put a stop to that. Honestly, there's so much government waste that's going on that I would call it a target-rich environment. It's hard in every direction. There's this just mad waste, and I think simply if people simply know that well, if they waste a ton of taxpayer money, they're going to get fired. That will immediately improve the situation. Immediately. It's like, yeah, it's just literally, and I think, but actually it's going to be both carrot and stick. It's like, so if a government official is very effective in spending your money, because taxpayer money is your money. So, if they're effective in spending your money, they should be promoted, they should be rewarded. And if they waste your money or do something that's basically corruption, they should be fired, obviously. You know, they have a duty to spend your money well. Yeah.
Hey, Elon. As a veteran who was deployed because of a lie that was told 21 years ago.
A lot of lies, man.
Yeah.
This is a lot of lies.
So, with Harrison Walls running on a campaign to make disinformation illegal, what would you say
disinformation just means information they don't like.
So what would you say?
Yeah.
So what would you say to an administration and a candidacy that is spreading lies or disinformation about the troops that are currently in combat, my friends?
Yeah, can you believe that was said?
And Hunter Biden's laptop, president's decline, and so on.
Yeah, I mean, during the Trump-Kamala debate, she said there was no active duty soldiers out there. I'm like, I know a whole bunch of them. What are you talking about? That's a shameful, terrible lie. Shit. And she wasn't even fact-checked. And I'm like, are you kidding? I mean, yeah, thank you. Yeah, and I just like to say, for the people, for the Americans out there who are serving in dangerous places right now, unlike what Kamala said, thank you for your service to the country.
Elon, thank you for stepping up to help America when you don't have to. Like, you could be on an island right now.
Yeah. I could be, yeah, I have a lot of jobs. No, it's true. I mean, there are, a lot of people I know who are on a yacht, sipping a Mai Tai, whatever, in an island, that is a thing I could be doing. I can't do that if I think the future of civilization is at stake, which I do.
One, do you know Alberto Congawala? He's the system manager for Europa Clipper.
Oh,
which you
but
sent,
that's a cool mission, by the way.
Which you sent into space on Monday.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Absolutely. In fact, that was a mission where I talked to SpaceX. It's like, every mission's important, but this mission's extra important. So yeah, because I'm like, I want to. I think like you, like I think most people. I want a future where you look forward to it and you're excited about what's going to happen. That we're going to learn new things. That it's going to be better than the past. And a future where we're a spacefaring civilization, and we're out there among the stars, where Star Trek is real. That's exciting. Life can't just be about solving one problem after another. There have to be things that inspire you.
Hi, Elon.
Yeah, that's a hard one to build, but at some point we should build a warp drive. But even without the warp drive, the Starship, the rocket made by SpaceX, is capable of building a city on Mars and a city on the Moon. That's what it's designed to do. But we're being massively slowed down by regulatory molasses. I mean, I'll tell you a crazy thing. We got fined $140,000 by the EPA for dumping fresh water on the ground, drinking water. It's crazy. I'm just an example of just how crazy it is. And we're like, well, we're using water to cool the launch pad during launch. You know, we're going to cool the launch pads that doesn't overheat. And in an excess of caution, we actually brought in drinking water, so clean, super clean water. And the FAA said, no, you have to pay a $140,000 fine. And we're like, but Starbase is in a tropical thunderstorm area. Sky water falls all the time. That is the same. So, and it's like, we didn't actually, there's no harm to anything. And they said, yeah, we didn't have a permit. We're like, you need a permit for fresh water? Are you, what? Yeah, it's just totally crazy stuff like that. And then they said if we don't pay the fine, they're not going to process any of our future applications. So they're like, this is the kind of crazy stuff we're dealing with. Yeah. So.
Hi, Elon. My name is Sarah. I'm from Philadelphia. I have a whole team here. First of all, I'm really excited about your recapping of this rockets and your Hyperloop program. We actually, at this critical moment, have a proposal to turn the blue states red quickly. I would like to sincerely like to accept our protocol. The proposal. You know, we want to have some further discussion with you, and really thank you for putting everything you have, risking everything you have to support President Trump to take our country back.
Well, thank you. Sure. Thanks. Thank you. Hey. All right.
Yeah, we shake the hands. Last week, I also fly to the Austin to want to find you. So glad you are here. Welcome. I used to have a business 17 years here.
Great. All right, sounds good. All right. So, yeah. Well, I'll take a few more questions and then wrap it up. Yeah, so go ahead.
Elon, hi, my name's Kevin, and I grew up right in Springfield, close by, and I want to thank you for all you've given up. You were the media darling, and you've sacrificed everything for freedom right now, and I want to thank you for my family and everything.
Yeah.
I also want to thank you. I want to thank you for all the lives that have been saved with your full self-driving. And all the future lives will be saved with that. That is one of the bravest things you. Thank you. I use that every day.
You're most welcome. I think it will save many lives and many serious injuries, and also give people their time back, so they can just be in their car and do whatever they want and watch, movies or whatever they want to do. It'll be great.
Absolutely great. My question for you is, and this is a very confusing thing in Pennsylvania. Do you think that we should, as a voter, vote in person, wait until voting day to vote in person, or do a mail-in ballot right now?
I think you should you should vote immediately right now. Yes.
Can you explain real quick why?
Should you have a pen? I don't know if somebody have a pen or something. Nice to meet you. All right. Yeah, so where were we? Oh, yes. Vote, yes. Register and vote early. Yeah, it's, I would say vote immediately. So, yeah, you're welcome. All right, well, I'll take one more question and then we'll call it a wrap.
This is Matt here. This is Matt from East West IT Services here. And I'm the chairman for the Pennsylvania Chinese Coalition. We have more than 40 Chinese groups and also different kinds of association. And I'm from Philadelphia. We are the team, and I want to know, could you give us Pennsylvania swing state, especially Philadelphia, there's a lot of Democrats. So could you give us three top reasons why people should vote for Donald Trump?
Sure. Well, the reasons that resonate are going to be different depending on who you're talking to. But I think the ones that resonate for me at least are, we want safer cities, we want a secure border, we want sensible government spending, we want support of the Constitution and the right, freedom of speech, right to bear arms, and that's what Donald Trump is going to do. So. And the other thing I think is maybe a concern is that I think if there's 4 more years of sort of the Kamala sort of puppet regime, they're actually going to legalize so many illegals in the swing states that there won't be swing states anymore, and this will be the last election in that case, and we'll be a permanent one-party state like California. And in California, which is mind-blowing, they passed a law banning voter ID for any election in California whatsoever. Now they're going to try to do that nationwide. In fact, if they can, they will do it nationwide. If the Dems win, they'll ban voter ID nationwide. So that's why I think if Trump doesn't win, this is the last election. Yeah. Thank you. Thanks, everyone.
That was Elon Musk. Didn't schedule that in there, but thanks for SV. We found it and got it up very quickly. I just want to say something because I know a lot of people are watching this and they may be watching on their home computers as well, or they may be watching on television. This is streaming. You're not watching a pre-recorded YouTube video that's full with production and is stored someplace. This is streaming, meaning all kinds of things can fluctuate in terms of don't want to get technical, but the bit rate it's called, and different kind of way things stream, where that's coming from, there's so many different variables. So during that, because we don't have the connection like a television, you're going to see some latency, some interference, and that's what you were seeing. Probably he wasn't on the venue Wi-Fi. He was probably using a couple Starlinks to put it up there, which is also a big test for Starlink as well. So as we stream and as you guys get used to streaming, don't freak out. This is still new technology. People are still basically pushing through. And he's on a remote location that I'm sure he walked in there and said, I'm going to stream this to the world. And they probably went, well, we can't help you. We don't have that kind of bandwidth here. Oh, no. I've got these Starlinks we're going to put all around. And I bet you when you look at this, I streamed it. Probably a bunch of other people streamed it. It was streamed on X. Who knows how many millions of people were looking at this on their phone or something of that nature. So breathe. We're all doing the best we can to basically destroy the mainstream media. We don't need the media anymore. So I would gladly fight through some interference and some latency and pixelation so I don't have to turn on CNN or MSNBC. I know where he's going with this. I know where the future is. That's why I got involved, is so that we can get to a position where turning on a stream is like turning on television. See, like right now, I'm clear as day. I probably sound clear as day because I've got a huge connection coming into my home office, so it's got a lot of bandwidth. But I'm sure if I took my phone and went on the patio, it would break up. It's just not as strong. So that's all I want to say. There's nothing mean to be said. Just don't freak out when you go, hey man, it looks like it's breaking up and I don't understand. I can't say. Chill. Woosah, woosah. Just breathe easy. You're going to be okay. It's okay. We got a guy here who is, and then also I got to tell you, I know some of you are very new to Elon Musk. I love seeing that entire arena, wherever he was, filled with Trump fans. But you have to educate yourself on this person. I saw some crazy stuff in there, but one of the things, oh, he can't speak well. He doesn't talk. You probably don't know that he came out publicly in 2023 and said he was on the autism spectrum. You know, this guy's brilliant. He's a rocket scientist. I applaud him for being able to stand on stages and talk to people. He's on the spectrum. So when you're saying stuff like that about him, oh, he doesn't speak well, you maybe go just take some time and research who this guy is. I'm not talking about his gazillion dollars, but you know, he's and if you've ever met someone who's got that kind of brain power, their synapses seem to fire in ways much different from us. He's probably got a formula that he's calculating over here at the same time he's wondering about Starlink connection as words are coming out of his mouth. So just breathe. We're trying to win this thing. We're trying to basically, take off and fix it all. And this guy is going to be a big proponent and advocate for what we have to do as Trump supporters. He's going to be paving a way of something that we haven't had before. That is why everybody is freaking out. That is why I got to hold my hand and think, as soon as I get done here, quickly edit out that 10-minute section where he wasn't stepping on he wasn't touching the third rail. He was dancing on the third rail. Those are the things that people like up here freak out about. And so you have to understand, this guy is speaking his mind, and you can tell people in the audience have been dying to talk about it. They understand. This is probably one of the only people that they can talk to freely and say, here's what we know. Can you help us get this information out? Whatever that information is. Because they've been, shut up, shut up, shut up. I know somebody commented in here and said, Barry, it sucks that you even have to talk like that. Yeah. 1984 is here. It's really here. We are only allowed to participate. It's not guaranteed anymore. That's one of the problems we have, especially who knows, maybe that's what Obama was talking about, the Dementia Joe. Hey, we got some time. We're going to shut all these people off. I don't know. Maybe one day you click on it. I'm not here. I don't know. But that's why you need to get over an X. Follow me over there. This show right now is being simulcast. I'm trying to build an audience over there as well. So that's where we are. That's where we are with everything. Elon was also abused as a child. I didn't know that. That's something I just learned. I watch your channel every day for a source of news. I hope you keep doing this. Best news source. I will. As long as they give me a home here, I will. I'll keep doing. Yes, Elon is, somebody has just asked, Elon is on the spectrum. Yep, he is. I mean, let's see if I can bring it up. I'm sure it's all over the internet if you just type that in. Yes, I'm reading it right now. Yes, Elon Musk has publicly admitted to having Asperger's, which as of 2023 is a part of the autism spectrum. So he admitted it publicly. See, if you don't know that, then you think, the guy's kind of stuttering and he's not really making sense. Oh, he's making a lot of sense. He may not be able to communicate it all in a one fluid sentence, but I'm not going to call a rocket scientist someone who can't, put a sentence together. Sick freaking people, Democrats. Yeah, they are. That's all they want. They want us shut up. They want us gone. It's incredible. So just to let you know, what's my ex? My ex is pretty simple. You're talking about my ex on the platform, right? Because my other ex, I don't want to talk about that. Barry Cunningham. Just very simple. Go to X and put up Barry Cunningham with no space, and you'll see the face. It's me. It's me. I'm there. Asperger's. Yeah. Imagine that. The man who might save communication as we know it has a problem communicating. That mind blowing. Absolutely. He still speaks 100 times better than Kamala. You're absolutely right. All right, guys. So just to let you know, SV. Hey, Buster's been posting from serious, messed up, and vulgar comments in chat. We'll get rid of him, SV. You can find him. All right. So, guys, here's what and ladies, not just guys. I hate saying that. Trump is speaking tonight. And I need you to come back tonight because I think it's going to be quite entertaining. I think you're going to like what he does tonight. Why do I say that? Well, he's speaking at the Al Smith dinner, which is a charity event in New York. I think it's St. Patrick's Cathedral. Cardinal Dolan, that's his event. And if you remember back in 2016, he completely, and I mean completely, destroyed Hillary Clinton because she was sitting right there and he was talking, and it truly is a roast. You make jokes about people. Well, Kamala Harris decided she ain't gonna go. She didn't want to basically submit herself to be the butt of jokes, so she's not gonna go, which means he's got the stage to himself. He's gonna light her up. So go to dinner, hug the kids, put them in bed, and then come on back at 8:45 because it's going to be a lot of fun. At last check, that it's a dinner, and then it's speakers, and then he's supposed to speak, I believe, at 9-ish or so. I like to go a little bit early, live early, so we get everybody in here. But don't miss it. I'm telling you, come back in with your favorite beverage or dessert or whatever, and he's going to get an open stage to basically roast Kamala in a situational environment where people are expecting him to drop bombs on her. So he's probably going to have a well-written comedic routine. I mean, the guy already has his own comedic routine. I don't even know why he would need a writer, but I'm pretty sure he's gonna rip her apart, and everybody in the audience knows what he'll be doing. So make sure you tune in for that. So let me go ahead and read the super chat so we can get ready and come back. Everybody see? Everybody see. There we go. Life after retirement. Wow, thank you, man. Thank you very much. Darren Katzenberger. Hey, Barry, I told Gold Star Dad Darren Hoover about your channel. Love it. Would love to talk to him. Michael Clark. Wow, Barry, talk about TDS. The interview on Fox truly shows that Trump is living rent-free in that empty head of Kamala's. Yeah, big time. I mean, big time. Diane, love you, Barry. Thank you for watching. Nancy Jennings, he played her own words. Yeah, it weren't hard questions. Everybody, he came at her hard. Hey, you said this. You still feel that way. That's all you had to say. Glenn Hutchinson, thank you. Glenn Hutchcraft, not Hutchinson. Nicholas Lamonicus, thank you. Thanks, Barry. Didn't know Brian was back. Brian. Oh, yeah, Stelter. Yeah, they brought him back after firing him, and he's doing the exact same thing. No Name, how you doing? Barry posting double time on YouTube and X. Simulcast, baby. Gotta make sure we're prepared. DG, Barry, you must observe Candace's new vid. P.S. If I use more detail, it wouldn't let me. Yeah, I know what you're saying. Justin Knucklehead, thank you again. Free James Brown. Darla Jordan Miller, watch Line in the Sand on TCN. Yes, I will. It explains how immigration is a DC operation for profit. They are not going to close the border. We pay, they profit. Yep. No Name again. Hey, brother. 100% no one cares about the skin color anymore. We're Americans, mega. Absolutely. I'm done listening to their crap. Shiny Sharon, no answers, no solutions equal nothing. Exactly. Darla Jordan Miller, Line in the Sand. Yeah, you just mentioned that. Watch the clips after the credits also. Okay, I'll check that out. Nancy Jennings, what really pissed me off, she refused to apologize for the death of those women. Sorry for your loss, but, yeah. Rose Rohaley, thank you very much for what you do. I vote for Trump. Thank you very much. Country lady, no matter what any poll says, get out and vote. Our lives and future of our families depend on it. Vote Trump. Especially when we saw what Biden said. They're planning something. There's something being planned. Nobody can doubt that. What it is, I have no idea. But you saw for yourself, something is being planned. MSNBC, NBC is not a liberal bastion. Yeah, really. Donna, I have 4 words for Kamala. How does it feel? No name again. We are not a democracy, and they keep saying democracy is under threat, yet is cause not what we are. We, the public, are a constitutional republic. Exactly. Jay, I voted for the first time yesterday, and it was for Trump. Chameleon can kick rocks. Congratulations. Ken Romalina, I'm in Jersey, and I have Republican coworkers who see right through Kamala and know she's terrible and are still not voting for Trump. They would rather vote for the Green Party. Can't help stupid. I mean, you just can't. No name. Biden is the same place as Jimmy Carter. Okay. Yeah, exactly. Patrash, thumb up if registered to vote early. Yes, indeed. John Crawford, thank you. Donna, again, they have to replace Walsh also. People are seeing how dysfunctional. Something's wrong with that dude, man. Something is seriously wrong with him. Barbara Duffy, Barry, can you at some point talk about what Jamie Raskin will try to do if Trump wins election? Stories like that. I will have to talk about them exclusively on X. I don't dare mention that and what he said here because certain people may not like it. So, yes, I'll do that, and I'll do it on X only. KRO, thank you. Mikorod, thank you. Don, again, on top of everything else, I still have this damn tree in my kitchen. It got down to 34 degrees last night up here in the mountains. Yeah, Robin told me it was cold up there. And they haven't removed the tree for you. Wow. Mikorod, what event could take place so bad it would hold off an election? You don't want me to answer that, do you? A big boom would. A really big boom would, that's for sure. John Plotkin, done. NJ Sound, where'd that go? And check out Trump Anthem 2024. Send me a link to that, or if you did, send it again. Nicholas Lamonicus, praying for your health, family. Thank you, as well as yours. Brenda Freeman, thank you, Barry. All Elon and Barry and team, amazing. I wish I was on Elon's team. Sean Z, Barry, convince me to vote early, please. Convince you, depending on what state you are. I'm in Florida, and early voting in Florida starts on October 21st, Monday. So I am going to go and vote early, and the reason why I'm going to go vote early is because November 5th, I'm going to be a poll watcher. So I'm going to convince you to vote early so you can do the same wherever you are, because it won't be any people in line when I go on the 21st, but on November 5th we're going to need your help. So I hope that did it for you. Jeff Holden, watch SNL with Elon as a host. He talks about his diagnosis. He was actually pretty funny. Yeah, he's not ashamed of it. I don't think there's much you could shame a guy who's worth like $1 trillion, is it? Could you? I doubt it. All right, 8:45, come back here and let's go ahead and watch Trump go ahead and roast Kamala. I think that's going to be incredibly funny. Love to have you along. So I know that says 6:30, but it's 8:45. I updated the time on the post. All right, go get some dinner.